Okay, I'm gonna give you 2 key sessions that are so good, you could just repeat these sessions on a weekly basis and you would keep improving without burning out, and in most cases run faster than ever, whether you're training for a 5K or a marathon. Now, simple disclaimer, of course, we've got to do the other work, but these are the quality, these are the key sessions. And we've also got to have the fundamentals in place. So your sleep quality and quantity has got to be on track. Your stress reduced as much as possible, and your diet has got to be working for you and not against you. Without those 3 simple pillars in place, any training, no matter how sophisticated, is difficult. And worse than difficult, it's just gonna get you frustrated and it's not gonna work for you. Now, the 2 sessions I'm gonna give you are midweek. I like to do mine on Wednesday, where we're gonna be running faster. And then at the weekend, I like to do mine on Sunday, where we're gonna be running further. And these sessions are so simple, yet so effective, that if you just do these 2 sessions week after week for the entire training schedule, in 95% of cases, you're gonna move forward more than an off-the-shelf running plan. 2 sessions will beat most off-the-shelf running plans. We've first got to get into the mindset of Kaizen. Kaizen is the Japanese word for continuous improvement. We've got to do that with our running. We've got to look at the entire training schedule. We've got to look at what we're building towards, work back from that to build towards the specificity needed in our training in order to deliver the best possible result. Then we've got to look under the bonnet, under the hood, at every single part of our week that we could improve in order to get the very most out of our running, and specifically these 2 key sessions. And if you were just to embrace that, Kaizen, continuous improvement, and apply that to the plan that you're already following, I promise you, think about it right now, could you improve every single thing you're doing by 5 or 10%? Unless you are amongst the best runners in the world, the answer to that question has to be yes. So, thinking again, how can we improve this midweek session where we're running faster? All we're gonna do is the same session, 3-minute intervals with 60 seconds rest. But in order to get the absolute most out of that session, we're gonna warm up to a point where we're priming our body to get the absolute most out of every single one of those intervals and the entire session. Now, depending on your starting point, you might start with 4 times 3 minutes or 5 times 3 minutes, and then build up to 10 times 3 minutes. What is important is it's at a perceived effort of 8 out of 10. So we feel in control, the session is manageable, we're not holding on or feeling like we're falling apart. We can then add the consistency so we can recover from that heavy, hard session and then go again 3 or 4 days later. Again, thinking Kaizen, continuous improvement. We're also gonna cool down after the session. So we're gonna clear that lactate faster and put ourselves in a better position to recover optimally, enhance that recovery so that we are more than ready to hit that specific long run come the weekend. So what would happen if you repeated the same session week after week? Well, for this session, you become incredibly in tune with nailing that 8 out of 10 effort. So you'd become really good at pushing hard enough to stress the body whilst not pushing too hard so that you could fully recover ready for the next quality session. You would also become incredibly efficient at running at that 8 out of 10 effort. And so what you would see very obviously is for that same effort, you'd become faster over the weeks and months. You would be working on your VO2 max on a weekly basis, and you would be consistently doing that because you were managing your effort at that 8 out of 10 level, instead of chasing a specific pace, which is often a pace you want to run for a race in the future. And by avoiding that obsession with pace and focusing on effort, you're gonna be training in a smarter, more sustainable way. And what you're also gonna get is you can track your progress so easily. And although it's not good to compare one session against another, you'll definitely see a trend over time. Now, specific long run, and I love Sunday for this, it gives me 4 days to properly recover from that midweek session so that I'm putting myself on the start line for this session fresh enough to get as much super compensation from this session as possible. So again, before we've even started the warm up, we're priming our body to get the most improvement as possible. And I got to a point very quickly with marathon running where there was a key indicator for me that told me I was in PB shape for the marathon. And that was simply this session, which is 5 times 10 minutes with just 60 seconds rest in between at that 6 out of 10 perceived effort. And I knew that if I could hit that at marathon pace, depending on the heat and the conditions, but that marathon effort would translate into marathon pace, that 6 out of 10 effort, I knew I was in a place, even with 5 times 10 minutes broken up with 60 seconds in between, I knew I was in a place to go and run my fastest marathon. And if you were to embrace that session and repeat it week after week and run those 10-minute intervals at 6 out of 10 effort and get incredibly efficient at that 6 out of 10 effort, you would move forward consistently, and at the same time, you would be reducing the injury risk because you're going at the body's pace to perceived effort where you're at right now, rather than trying to chase a pace that you're aiming at 3, 6, 12 months down the line from now. And again, if you need to start with 3 times 10 minutes and gradually work up to 5 times 10 minutes, brilliant. What you're gonna get is incredibly efficient moving over the ground for those 10-minute longer intervals at exactly 6 out of 10 perceived effort. And you're also going to become so in tune with that level of effort that come marathon day, you'll know exactly how to pace it even without looking at your watch. And that is a wonderful feeling and very freeing for the mind. If you can imagine, when it's a hot marathon, we recently had Berlin, all of a sudden everybody has to adjust, they lose their minds. Our athletes, vast majority of them, ran personal bests because they knew exactly what was going on with their body and how to approach that hotter day. Now, as I said before, you want the fundamentals in place, the sleep, the reduced stress, the diet, also want the rest of the running. So the recovery runs, the easy runs, the total volume, all of those things working for you to deliver you to those 2 key quality sessions, ready to get the maximum improvement, the maximum super compensation that you possibly can, and string together the consistency over the course of the next 3 to 6 months.